And we're live.
Hi there. In case you might notice the words might be off from what my mouth is saying, that's because we're doing the English dubbed OTDE this time around.
It's mostly just because things. Hey, look! My phone just told me that we went live. How lovely is that? So yeah, we're gonna review a thing today. Yes.
Yes, we are. And in somewhat accordance with the title of this is going to be just a one and done before I get out of here to go watch Umabura SAT.
So
All
yeah.
right. This is Rush Hour by Shiny. One hell of a debut track.
Yeah, it is.
due in large part to the advent of LRA making lots of frame trickiness stuff super duper easy to do. Shiny was apparently able to pick up on this pretty quick and make something pretty technically impressive.
Yeah, want to watch it?
I'm ready to watch it when you are.
And for anyone who hasn't seen this before, remember this is his first track ever. All right.
First track, Aw Man, Goddamn.
3, 2, 1, go.
God, I wonder who edited this. It's probably so hot. Probably the most attractive man on the planet. I can't do that with a straight face. This is my first time experimenting with blur in motion. Alright. And this just starts like right out the gate. It's like, okay, we're going to be going really fast this time.
It's very Valence 3.
Yeah. I think this is easily like the closest analog. Like if tracks were like in a dictionary, this would be a synonym to Valence 3.
I mean, it's like most of the things I see happen in this track is like, oh yeah, that's like straight out of Valence 3.
Yeah. But there's just these lots of
There's
fast
a few little
switching
differences, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Both are very like pattern focused and contact point focused.
Yeah, contact point and then like sustaining something for at least a second or so.
Yeah. And it's just, it's all like, I think it's a little faster in parts. And the best part. Yeah!
Nice sync there, yeah.
Yeah! Payoff on that one's neat.
Is it all blue? I think it's all blue, yeah.
I believe it's all blue with the exception of the green lines.
Oh, yeah.
In the end monument. But that's close enough. Especially since there's not any integration in this, there is really no difference. It's just the green line for the monument.
There's that dual loop quad fling thing that was
God, that
just
thing
straight out of Valence 3.
Yeah. This music is just like very generic poppy, like catchy stuff.
Well, I like it because it's not like this easily could have been like, you know,
Drum
I don't
and
know.
bass.
Yeah, like or not even yeah, like I don't know, like the most dramatic music you can think of, you know.
Yeah.
And he you know, he could have made a decent argument for using that kind of music, but this is a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Like this was really fun to watch.
Yeah. One of the
there
things.
It is. That's it.
So Shiny, when he was talking to me about editing this, let's do this at quarter speed here, and let's start it. Start it at like 19. Yeah, 19 will do it. Tail end of 19. All right, ready?
19. What? 19 is already started.
Oh, 18 then.
Okay, let's do 18. All right, ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go.
So Shiny initially came to me with this, and he said, so what I kind of wanted to do with this track was use it to convey this kind of like joy and happiness. And I think that's more reflected in the music than it is in the track. But
Yeah.
I think the track is like up-tempo enough that it lends itself well to presenting that sort of happy ethos. It's just not as direct necessarily.
Yeah.
I would personally love to see a track like execute something where it's like distinctly, overtly like this is a happy, carefree moment, like Happily Ever After. That was a great one because it had that sort of conflict and then this resolution into something really just nice and pretty and, you know, feel good.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'd call Happily Ever After feel good.
I feel good when I watch it.
In a way, it's a very sad track.
Really?
Melancholy in any case. But anyway, we're not talking about Happily Ever. We're talking about Rush Hour. I don't have anything to say really, though.
I mean, technically, I'm not someone who does all that stuff, but I'm sure on a technical level, a lot of this stuff is really impressive. And it sort of pushes all the right buttons that Valence 3 does, where it has these sustained, really tricky things. So you're like, what's that? What's that? What's that?
Yeah.
So if you've watched a lot of Quirk, there's like unusual positionings to like keep it from being like, oh, it's more of the same.
Yeah.
And so there's enough novelty of the weirdness of that to keep me entertained along with the sort of upbeat stuff.
Yeah.
I do kind of wish there was more direction, but we also got to remember we're critiquing somebody's first track.
Yeah, see, it's kind of like I'm stuck between, like, do I just say, we'll just make more tracks, or do I say, like, I don't know, or do I actually critique this and say, I mean, because I could sit here and say, like, you know, well, I didn't really get anything out of this track because it's basically Valence 3. But it's his first track, so basically I'm just like, just make another track, and then if you make the same kind of track, then I'll be like, okay, make something else. But
see,
like this is a very, very strong first track, so I don't really have anything to say other than just like make more tracks. But
go somewhere with this.
Don't worry, like definitely don't try to make another track like this. Because we've seen that you can do Valence 3, and now I want to see if you can do anything other than Valence 3, you know?
Yeah, I want to see him...
and you can definitely use what you've learned in the process of making this track, but...
Yeah, what this shows is that he has the technical skills to basically convey whatever he wants to if he puts his mind to it correctly.
I don't know if I'd say that.
Well, okay, so he can convey anything through motion, maybe.
Fling quirk.
I guess
this track is one long fling.
This is true.
It's one long evolving fling. So, you know, you've shown me that you can do lots of different kinds of flings, but that is definitely not all there is to Line Rider.
Oh,
you know?
Oh my god, he doesn't do a single manual in it.
He doesn't do anything but flings.
Or flat sled. Wow.
That
is actually really unusual for a first track as well. Dare I say this is one
Line
of
Rider Advanced. Welcome to Line Rider Advanced.
It's much easier it's one of the consequences
flings.
Of the frame-by-frame generation.
It's so much easier to make flings in LRA than it is to make anything else.
Yeah, I often struggle with that, actually. Part of me wants to just have, like... If I could have, like, LRA...
It's the main reason I don't use LRA. Well, it's not the main reason. It's one of the many reasons.
I can't use LRJS for, like... because the keyboard configurations just make it really not efficient for me to do anything.
Yeah.
And because I'm so like dead set in my ways, because I've been like doing this since middle school, and
I have been doing it for longer than you have.
I mean,
okay.
Yeah. I mean, but I've been like doing lots of track making at a.
Okay.
I mean, not trying to come up with a way to say this. Like,
you've been doing lots of quirk.
I've been doing lots of quirk, and that lends itself to certain processes that are habits that are hard to get rid of.
Yeah. Which I'm sure is true for most people in the community.
Yeah.
The vast majority of people who are watching.
So the way I play is also partially
probably everyone who's watching
crutch on me. But one of the things I think is interesting about this is that we don't really know what Shiny's playstyle is or how long it took him to make certain things. We just know that he was able to do these sort of frame perfect things right out of the gate.
Yeah.
And that's a unique event in and of itself. And I feel like at some point we should like ask him what he did, how he came about it. I mean, this is not his first track that he's ever made, of course. Just his first release. If this is his
Yes.
first track he ever made, I'd be like, "Who are you, and what planet did you come from?" But
Yeah.
um, I don't know what it was specifically.
Yeah,
that
but more than anything, I just want to say make more and try new things.
Yes, yes,
The
absolutely.
length of time it took for this track to come out makes me a little wary. Like, it makes me a little worried that
Yeah.
it's going to be... Because there are plenty of people who've released 1 or 2 tracks, and then, like, either they got bored with making that style, or they just felt like those 2 tracks were really well received, and now they had to live up to these huge expectations. I mean, I'm thinking of, like, Snooze, for example. He makes Tonight,
Snooze.
which is a good track, and then he makes Dark
Yeah.
Matter, which, you know, wins all kinds of things. And then
he
he
had to do
never
the big
makes
project.
he never makes anything again because he can't live up to the hype of Snooze is making another track, you know? And so I'm a little worried that you know, how good this track is, that Shiny's going to not make another track because, you know, he feels like he needs to outdo this track. And you don't need to outdo this track. You just need to make something that's not the same. And then, you know, anything that's not the same.
Part of me feels like it's actually kind of beneficial to release a couple tracks that are stinkers before you
It's
release other things. Because
it's funny because most, you know, if you never make a bad track, then it's kind of hard to. It's kind of hard to feel like you're going somewhere, you know.
Right. And when those other tracks are all that other people know of you, then it's tough.
I'd love to see if you have like old SOLs of like crappy stuff that you made. I'd love to see like a garbage collection with like a progression of some kind.
Yes.
That would be super fun because I know that you didn't just, you know, doodle around a little bit and then make this. You probably made lots of partial things that you never finished, and I'd love to see those because I want to know how you got to this point, you know. I mean, we all know how Sheldon got to this point because he has 100-some videos uploaded, but this is your first one, so...
I think one of the big problems now is that everyone's going to expect the next Shiny track to be on some level, whether technically or conceptually, they are going to expect it to be as good or better than Rush Hour.
Yeah.
And I think that's dangerous because it sets up this expectation that really I don't think should be there, because everyone's going to have periods where they make things that aren't necessarily as good. Like, for every track that's like as cool as Funner was, or as like mind-boggling as that, you're going to have a Cucumber.
Yes.
Which is that one alt quirk, I guess.
Yes.
Like for every Funner that Serial had, he had like flames with a PH. And like I think that might also be as important as having good tracks. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it is hard to make stuff in general, and it's hard to feel like what you make is meaningful in general, and if it's not meaningful, then it's hard to make it at all. It's impossible, really. So
my advice,
if you don't feel like your work means something, it's pretty much impossible to keep working.
My advice to Shiny is to get weird, get messy.
That's your advice to everyone.
I know, but it works. People do their coolest stuff when they get weird.
You know what my advice is to plan.
Yes.
And to not overreach yourself. Plan on make a small plan, and it will get big before you know it.
But more than get weird, my advice is to be risky. Try things that might not necessarily
That's my advice too.
be the quote unquote best, but things that you think would either A, fit with the aforementioned plan that you're coming up with, or just
fun.
or just fun,
Anything that's
or
fun.
weird, or
Really,
interesting.
anything that's fun, do it.
Because
for me, what's fun is planning something out and then executing it. And for OTDE here, what's fun is doing something weird that no one else has ever done before and seeing if it works. And then, for other people, fun is making, some extreme quirk that's going to blow everyone's minds.
But you know what's really fun though?
What?
That one track by Serial. Boom, baby.
It's a good example because you could tell
like,
that
I'm gonna have a fun.
It's really cool because you could tell he was like just goofing around and like maybe this will
Yeah.
work, maybe this will be cool, maybe this won't be cool, but then I'll just try a bunch of stuff.
It totally freaking paid off though.
Well, yeah, it's like half the track works and half the track doesn't, but the half the track that works is like it works and it's totally new and crazy,
It's
and you're
mind bending and
this
weird.
is so cool.
So recommended viewing for Shiny here. Fun and funner. Second half of funner, I think.
Yeah, the first half is kind of lame.
First half, there's just like some weird editing tricks with the recycle and the disappearing line, and that's just like him goofing around sort of in the meta game of Line Rider. But when Serial goofs around in like the game itself, you can totally see he's just like he's got such a weird creative mind.
Yeah, I watched Funner.
So look at that kind of thing. I don't know. There's so many places you could take Rush Hour and just like make something that isn't that, but like retain some of that technical prowess.
I don't want to like tell you what to do any more than just make something new.
I want more. I want more. But yes, this track gets 2 thumbs up, where the thumbs each stand for the potential that this could have, and they got little fireworks coming out.
This track gets like, a solid 1 thumbs up out of a potential 2 for me, for just being Valence 3.
I don't have like a rating system where like 2 thumbs up is perfect and 2 thumbs down is like a 0 or anything like that. I just give a subjective number of thumbs.
For me, my reaction was like, okay, that was fun. What else you got? What
else you got, boy?
It's like, yeah. Like, this was cool, but yeah. I'd love to see something that reached a little more, or that was a little weirder, or it was just a little more
I'm
chill,
all about the...
or, anything other than straight flank work. And I take this all with a grain of salt, because as you know, I'm not exactly opposed to flank work, but I'm tired of the amount of flank work that is saturating our community. And so whenever something is flank work, it's kind of a turn off for me.
It's like you could have done anything.
You could have done anything. Why did you do flank work? Why did you pick the most common genre?
I'm perhaps a little more lenient. I'm like, I don't know. Sometimes I just look
on the other hand, it's a really good flank work, so I don't know. I mean,
this is fucking great.
I mean, yeah, Valence 3 is arguably the greatest flank work of all time, and this, you can't say that this is really worse than Valence 3. I mean, like, it's pretty much on par.
I think Valence 3 has better syncs. Valence 3
has more syncs, and the syncs really feel solid, and it has a monument that I made.
So that makes us better. No.
So next track, ask me to make your monument. Actually, don't do that. Just
all right.
Yeah, whatever. We've rambled enough. That's a solid.
Enjoy, Shiny. I'm gonna send this link to you on Skype, and then it'll be a self-referential loop, and it'll be so meta, dude. You're gonna love it. All right, have a good one, dude.
All right, and thanks to anyone who's still watching. Bye.
Yeah.